Welcome to Coffee with Coastside. This is our first edition, and we are excited because we've tried to do this
For 2 years.
for 2 years.
We've always said we're going to do it.
We even got these cute mugs.
Now we have the mugs.
Yes.
We have the table. We have the coffee station.
We're ready. So today we're going to talk about insurance because this has been a huge topic, especially on social media. I've commented on a lot of posts trying to help people understand what's going on with insurance recently. We see a lot of current homeowners asking about why their rates have gone up, why people are getting dropped from their current policies. So we kind of want to touch on that for a minute, and then also talk about reassessments, being underinsured, and then how this is affecting buyers coming into the market. So
You may have gotten some mail either from the county or from your insurance provider talking about that reassessment.
yes,
Don't be scared.
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's going to be fine. But you may be underinsured. So we're going to talk about that too. So first, if you are seeing a huge increase in your insurance rates, I highly recommend that you shop that policy, because a lot of insurance providers are finding the Outer Banks to be too much of a risky market for them. The claims history is too high. They've paid out too much money in our area, so they want out. So they are jacking up their rates to try to almost like see who's gonna give, and they're like, oh well, if they'll pay me a lot, then we'll keep them insured, but if not, then they don't want to deal with it. So it's a great time to connect with a local insurance provider, and we can't stress local enough, because a lot of people don't understand this climate. They don't understand the win ratings. They don't understand the various policies. So it has to be someone local, because they're going to get you the best product and the best rate, and make sure you have enough coverage, everything. And we have a couple providers that we will share with you guys that we work with regularly, and they're wonderful and can review your policy with you just to make sure that you're not overpaying. So if you're seeing all this stuff about like, oh, we can't get insurance, we're getting dropped, all these things, it's a lot of people who have insurance with some of these carriers who are trying to exit the market. So that's all it is. Shop your policy, make sure you're good and you're not overpaying. That's like our number one tip and advice.
We've both done it recently as well.
Yes. So just as a fun fact, I had USAA for insurance for many years, ever since I moved to the Outer Banks.
Who is notorious for trying to get out of this market, right? They're quoting high for buyers. They're raising policies for the current homeowners.
Yes.
They want to exit this area.
For sure. And so we actually had them just out of loyalty. I've always used them. I always thought I was getting a better rate. I talked to one of our local providers, and I saved about $2,000 this year on my insurance policy with same coverages, and even some better coverages. So I was just telling Lauren that I got a letter that my mortgage was going down because my escrow payments have gone down from my insurance savings, which is like never happens.
It usually goes up.
Always going up. So if you have USAA, if you have Frontline or any of these like older policies, you need to make that call, because it's going to save you money. And
for me, it was, I stayed with the same carrier, but I just called and had a conversation and just said, hey, this is what I see, what's going on. Do we have the best coverage? So we were still good with the reassessment and the coverage, but we were able to adjust the policy a little bit, so that way it, it's a little bit easier on the pocket. But I stayed with the same carrier, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, that's good. And in regard to reassessments, so it's not just the reassessments that are bringing this up, but we've seen huge increases in market value on the Outer Banks over the last,
which is great,
many years. It's great for our sellers. It's great for our buyers, because things are still going up. But with that being said, there are a lot of people who have not adjusted their insurance, and so they are underinsured right now. They have policies written on their old market value. A lot of people use their old assessed value when they're writing these policies. So take a look at your coverage, because that insurance money is supposed to help you rebuild that property if something happens. And if you only have $300,000 in coverage and your house now would cost $500,000 to rebuild, you're going to be in trouble. So the cost for building have gone up, the cost for market value have gone up, to buy something new has gone up. So just make sure you have enough coverage, because it's really risky to run around in this kind of area with the storms and the abuse from renters, things like that. Fire, it's a huge thing here. Just make sure you have enough coverage.
And this is a regular thing that, the town, the county, the government does on a regular basis. So if you're new to the area and you're hearing about this reassessment, it's done every a set number of years. I think they did 5 years, or
yeah, it's supposed to be 8, I think, but they did it.
Has to be done with it.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And the reason why we're seeing such a big adjustment is because our values have gone up so much from post-COVID, and where we had changes in the market. And so we just want to make sure that everybody understands that this is a regular thing, and we might not feel this the next time it comes around. It might not feel as big of a jump, but it's really a great thing that we're having these values match, because then it really shows what our market is worth. And it's really good to be in an upgoing market for buyers and for sellers, because for our current owners, you want your real estate to appreciate. So
right,
it's a good thing.
Yeah. And let's talk too about insurance for buyers. I know a lot of people are scared to buy in this market because they see all the hype, like, oh, I'm not going to get insurance. I'm not going to be able to afford it.
Yeah, we're having a lot of conversations with buyers right now. They're hearing about, the scary things, the scary stories that you're on Facebook, or I talked to somebody that says, flood insurance is crazy expensive. And, right now I'm having a lot of conversations with our local insurance providers, and they're doing a lot of education for our buyers. So you're probably going to see more of that coming out from us. We're probably going to put out some digital pieces talking about the different policies. So we learned about wind territories recently. Their wind and hail coverage is something that is in the Outer Banks. It's something that's necessary for all of our homes, but it makes a little bit of a difference where you're looking in the rating for the wind territory. But then specifically for flood insurance, we're finding that we're having conversations with buyers, and they're realizing that it's not as scary as they thought it was, and you don't have to have it with every single property. So it really is specific to the property that you're looking at or the property that you're purchasing, and then taking that next step to talk to a local provider, and we can connect you with somebody that can give you the specifics on that particular property. Does it need flood? Is it in a wind and hail territory that's going to have a lower rate, or whatever? So, just really doing that research and understanding that these policies aren't as scary as they might seem. Honestly, the flood insurance is pretty reasonable, and for what you're getting and the coverage that you're getting, it's really important. So yeah.
And there's limitations on flood insurance. I mean, most of the time it's written through the government, and they can only do so much because everyone has needed it in the past, and things have kind of changed now where we have more ex-flood zone than we used to, but it's still something that's limited, so don't be scared by that at all.
Yeah, and we might find out that the property that you're looking at has an assumable policy, so we're not having to write a new policy for flood insurance. It could be assumable. So really just taking it case by case and going into it knowing that it is a cost that we'll have to have, but it's a necessary cost, and it's really important for the protection of your property.
And I think in this market, goes back to the whole it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think a lot of people try to buy here thinking they know all these things, and there's a lot of things that come up through these processes and through each individual home
that we learn on.
We are constantly
always learning.
But we think it's so important to talk to a local agent, a local insurance provider, and if you can, a local lender, because all of these people are going to make your life so much easier when you're looking at Outer Banks property.
Or even after you've purchased the property. Sometimes if you're working with a lender or an insurance provider that's out of the area, you purchase the property and then you get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you need to add this coverage on.
Yeah.
And it's an added cost. So your escrow goes up, your mortgage payment goes up. So, if we can take care of that ahead of time and prevent you that headache in the future.
Yeah, and we're here for you guys. So if you do get a letter like that, if you do have questions, current owner, if you're not even one of our clients and you have questions, we're here to help you. We want to be a resource for you. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. All of our contact info is here, and we will link you up with the providers we're talking about here in this video, so you can reach out to them, let them know we sent you to them, because they're amazing, and we know that it's going to save you guys time, money, and a headache. So we hope this helps.
Yeah.
And
let us know how we can help.
Yeah, we're here.